thank you for being here. This is So I Did a Thing Live. And like I say every week, I'm pretty stoked about this guest. First off, I am going to point out, yes, I do not have my hat on. And yes, I do see the glare of light coming off my bald head. That's giving me all kinds of anxiety all day when I realize that I left the house without a hat. So anyway, my guest tonight, really excited she's here. She's one of those connections that went from a connection to a friend. And so, yeah, I'm going to bring Julie out. Hi, Julie.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Steven is here. What's up, Steven? Glad you joined us. Well, thank you for being here. I'm excited about this.
Oh.
Technical difficulties?
Yeah, it's like my Bluetooth connected and then it didn't connect and now it just like randomly connected itself again. So we'll see how long this lasts.
Okay. If all of a sudden I start waving at you, that means we can't hear you.
Yeah. So.
Well, cool. How you been?
I've been good. You know, just trucking along, keeping busy, chasing the children. So never a dull moment with them.
Yeah, I know. That is exactly why I have dogs. Of course, there's never a dull moment with the dogs either. But...
No, there's not. Do you need another one? I have too many.
No, I do not. I have one of my employees was trying to sell me a pit bull the other day. His dog had puppies, and then another one of my employees has bullies. Mm-hmm. And her dog just had puppies, and she was like, "Chris, you need to buy a puppy." I was like, "No, I do not need another dog. I have 4 in the tiny house, and that's enough."
Yeah. My farm dog, Mutz. So she had a litter of puppies last fall, and we kept 2 of them. So that gave us 4 dogs, which is a lot of dogs anyway. Mm-hmm. And then the lovely female that I'm not going to say that word got pregnant again this spring and had 10 puppies on April Fool's Day.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I got home, I went out and I was like, "Oh, you have 8 puppies. That's a lot, but good girl." And then I got the next morning and there's 10 and it's like, oh, April Fools, there's 2 more. And like the last litter, like 2 of them died at birth. And then like one of them like randomly died like at 3 weeks old. So I only ended up with like 5 to begin with. No. We had 10 this time and all 10 lived.
Oh, yay. Did y'all get rid of all of them?
No, I still have 3.
Oh my God. So you have 7 dogs?
I have 7 dogs now.
Holy crap.
A lot. It's too many.
They're not all inside, are they?
Oh, no. We don't do any inside animals.
Really?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh man, all 4 of mine live inside.
No, we don't do any inside animals. Like we allow them to come in, like if it's like, last February when it was like sub-zero cold.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't even do that. I built them like this amazing little house with like 3 heat lamps in it. And it was like 60 degrees in there. So they were fine outside. Because it was like, how do you prioritize? I can bring in you, but the rest of you have to stay outside.
Right. Like we love this one more.
Yeah. Like you're special. So you get special treatment.
So what kind of dog is your farm dog?
So Rosie, the one who is extremely fertile, she is a border collie Catahoula Anatolian mix. Okay. So she's farm dog mutt, but she looks like a red border collie, and she's a really good dog.
Does she help you with the cows? Like, does she work the cows?
Sometimes she tries. Sometimes she gets a little bit overzealous. So she actually doesn't really help us much anymore because she got overzealous one time and I put the shock collar on her and then she decided she didn't want to help at all. So
you messed that up.
Yeah. So, and then, we ruined that, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Stephen, it is a constant battle at my house. Like my dogs don't get on the furniture. Sometimes I'll let like the little dogs sit on the foot part of my recliner when it's kicked up. But it's still dog hair constantly all over the floor. Like it's a constant vacuuming and sweeping and all that kind of stuff. But they've been inside all their lives, so it's not like I can kick them out now.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind having an inside dog. especially like being at home a lot more, or if I ended up working from home, because it's just really relaxing to have like somebody just like sit in your lap and like pet them. And so like I have a rat terrier cross, and he would love to be an inside dog. He'd make a great lap dog, but he sheds like crazy. But he wants to be an inside dog. Like, sorry, dude, I don't want white hair all over my house.
So you were originally from Washington?
Yep, originally from Washington State.
I remember this time. I said Montana last time.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. But yeah, so when most people think Washington State, they think Seattle, or like typical Seattle,
Northwest kind of
Pacific
stuff.
Northwest, evergreens, lots of rain,
cliffs and ocean.
Like yeah. And so where I grew up is about 3.5 to 4 hours east of Seattle. So it's farm ground called the Columbia Basin. So if anybody's ever driven through like the panhandle of Oklahoma or western Kansas where it's flat, even panhandle of Texas, that reminds me of home.
What's up, Gabe? Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate you. Gabe has been doing some cool stuff like supporting live streamers. Like he's posting every day on who has what live streaming to kind of help.
I saw that post today.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, videos.
Very cool.
So Miranda, are you connected to Miranda McCulley?
Yes.
Okay, so she came to see me, or not to see me, she came to Dallas and I went to see her. But she was like under this impression that all of Texas was like cornfields and flat, and I was like, no, that is not. Like I live in the middle of the woods, like literally on the edge of the woods. And so I was talking to her the other day, and I said something about, all right, well, I gotta go hop on a tractor, and I was gonna go plant a food plot.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, I will never hear somebody say those words. I'm gonna go hop on a tractor ever again. So she had this whole like, and I was like, we don't even grow corn in Texas. Like even in my part of Texas, like we don't even have like farms. It's all like ranching and cows and hay, just like what you do.
Yeah, like what we got.
Like we grow hay, and she was like, well, what is hay made out of? I said, it's grass. Like it's coastal grass usually. And she was like, I've got to come see where you live. Like I have this whole weird idea of Texas that's just been flipped on its head now.
Yeah.
But it's flat in Oklahoma, though, isn't it? Like where you're at, it's pretty flat.
Parts of it. So where I'm at, actually, it's not very flat.
It's not?
No, it's not very flat at all. It's pretty hilly. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, the flat part of Oklahoma. I'm literally looking out the window.
We can't see out your window, Julie.
No, it's not flat. I mean, there's like flat parts. But I mean, like on our land, we've got like a flat part where it's like the grass is open and where my tree stand is. But then there's like the hills that go off the side and like big creeks and things and lots of trees. So
that's the way our land is. Like it's pretty flat. It kind of slopes off on the cleared off part. But down in the woods, it's all hills and creeks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's different. It's different terrain. You can go just a little, like an hour or two in any direction and find completely different landscape. Here in Oklahoma, where I live now and where I grew up.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing how much a difference there is.
So what brought you from Washington to Oklahoma?
Oklahoma State. So I started in college at Washington State University as an animal science major, partly because that's what my daddy did. That's what my brother did. I loved animals. So that's what I did. Didn't really know what I was going to do with that. I wasn't going to be a vet. So I really wasn't sure. And then like my sophomore year, I learned about a major called agricultural communications. And one of my cousins had actually majored in AgCom and gone to OSU. And so I talked to her and she's like, why don't you just go visit? Why don't you go check it out? And so I did. And it's a science-based communications degree. And so you learn all of the layout and design skills, the writing skills, the reporting skills, things like that, but also like the agriculture background that goes with it. And from the very first minute that I visited OSU, like I was sold, like I'm like, this is where I need to be.
Okay. So you came for college and stayed?
I came for college and then stayed. Yeah, I was working at the feed store, so Stillwater Mill, and that's where I met my husband. So he was working in the warehouse, I was working in the store, and you know, the rest is history.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I worked at a feed store too back in the day. What is up, Adam? Team Candy Corn. No. Do you like candy corn, Julie?
I do like candy corn.
Oh,
I like candy corn with peanuts. Like
what?
Take a jar of Planters peanuts and a jar of candy corn and mix them together. Yeah, it's like a payday in your mouth.
Oh, I threw up a little in my mouth just thinking about that. I am not a candy corn person, and so Adam and I have this thing going back and forth. And Adam said, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, like there's different flavors of candy corn.
Oh, really?
I think that's what he said. I think he sent me like a whole ass article on it one time. Ugh.
He'll have to confirm.
Yeah, he'll have to confirm. Like, I'm not a candy corn eater.
I did see something the other day. It may have been like, because you know how like jelly beans have all the different crazy flavors? And there was like, I think it looked like candy corn, but it was put out by the Jelly Bean Company, and it was like crazy flavors, like turkey and dressing and like other things that were terrible. Maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know. Like,
have you ever done the 'boardroom game?
No, I've watched it be played. I have, no, I haven't been boozled. No, because if I got a vomit jelly bean, like it would be a bad day for everyone.
So we played it at Christmas last year, and I was like, I am not freaking playing this. Like, no, like I can do some weird stuff, but putting like just taste don't. Like when I worked for a vet for like 5 years. Like I could watch an autopsy on a cow while I was eating a hamburger. Like it didn't bother me, you know. But tastes get me, and I did. They said no, you're going to do it, so I did it, and I think I got like rotten fish or something. No, dog food. I got whatever. Just remembering it, like it was terrible.
No.
Just thinking about it has me bad. Oh, I gotta spit my dick out. Like that's bad. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I know that was not what y'all wanted to see, but I couldn't do it. Just thinking about it got me all messed up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Yeah, 20 plus flavors. Turkey and dressing. Have you had the turkey and dressing, Adam? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, have you had it, and what is your opinion?
So you came from Washington for college, stayed for school, got married, started a farm. How many cows do I have?
So we have cows, calves, replacement heifers, all total. We have about 70 head right now.
Okay.
We've got a bunch of cows we need to wean. Got several older cows that we need to cull from the herd and send down the road. So we've got several that are a couple that are 11 years old this year.
Oh wow.
A couple that are 10.
Well, they still have cows?
Yeah. So no, they're still been productive, contributing to the herd. So and they still we're in pretty good body condition. So that's why we've kept them.
Yeah.
But like we've just because like my husband and I are the ones that do the majority of the cow stuff, and with me working full time and him with his limitations from his accident, we've tried to pare down. And so we used to have like leased land that was, away from the house, and we've let that go. So we're working on kind of paring down the herd and having smaller numbers but better quality. So that's going to be on the.
What kind of cows do you have?
They're Angus cross. So my in-laws started with registered limousine, and I was raised with Angus Cross,
Mm-hmm.
and I had never been chased over a fence so many times from
Really?
when I got here. Yeah, they were mean. Like, I hated them.
Usually
And
they're
so,
not that bad.
oh, these were. I know a lot of people love limousine cattle, and I just don't. Like,
Yeah.
they were mean. So they're mostly Angus Cross now. We've bred out most of the limousine, and
Okay.
so yeah.
All right, Steve.
Dexters are cool.
Dexter cows.
I really want a mini Highlander.
Those are so cool.
Yeah,
With
just
the
to
fuzzy
have
head.
one.
Yeah, just to have
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Just
those
to have
Dexters
one.
are small.
Yeah, they're little. My sister-in-law has a petting zoo, and so I'm like, it'd be a perfect reason to have a mini Highlander is to put it in the petting zoo.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah, I think you need to get a Highlander, and I think you need to do it and make a post about it.
Yep.
You know, I like those little dudes.
Yeah.
They're so
fun.
fuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. With hair on
I don't
their
know.
eyes all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a picture in my office of one. It's so cute.
Would you let it in the house?
I'd do anything once.
So there's a lady I'm connected with, Heather Hughes. She's from Austin, and she's a horse girl.
Yeah.
And she has a miniature horse that she adopted that had some issues, had been abused or something. It's blind maybe in one or both eyes. I don't remember.
Okay.
But that little sucker lives in the house with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it, and she posts pictures every once in a while, and it's a real cute house, like really super clean. But there's this little Oliver is his name, little miniature horse walking around in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, rocks, turkey dinner plus apple pie and coffee candy, 2-bag bundle with measuring spoon.
With measuring spoon.
Yeah, that's on Amazon. So let's hang on. Let's pull this up, and I'm going to.
Oh.
Apple pie and coffee.
I think an apple pie would probably taste okay.
Yeah.
I could probably even get on board with coffee.
Turkey, apple pie, and coffee, candy corn, green beans, roasted turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing.
Cranberry sauce might be okay.
Maybe.
But none of the rest of that.
No.
No. Oh, look, only one left in stock. Don't miss out.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go ahead and not do that.
Oh, my goodness.
That's terrible, man. I know, Stephen, it does, doesn't it?
It does look disgusting. No thanks.
Oh, that's awful, yeah. So, you're looking for a job.
I am looking for a job.
What are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Anything that
Well,
comes along
I'm narrowing it down because in my last role, I did a lot of different things. A little bit of, marketing, business consulting, managed our incubator program, coordinated training, delivered training. Like, it kind of ran the gamut. So in the time that I've been, not working and looking at different things and really figuring out, what do I want to do? What do I want to do when I grow up? Because, we never know.
Right.
But I'm really think I've figured it out. Want to stay in the vein of like training and development, because that's the one thing I keep coming back to that like gets me excited.
Yeah.
There's lots of things that I could do. But that's the one I think that like I enjoy it. I've been told I'm good at it. And it really kind of hits the high points of what I value in a position as far as like helping people, working with the team, contributing to the organization, developing people to be, the best person that they can be, either, individually or for the team with technical skills or whatever it is. So I've retweaked my job search keywords in the last 24 hours. And so hopefully having a narrowed down focus, that'll help. I did finally find a group in Tulsa that helps with job transition. And so started working with them yesterday on like some resume tweaks and things. So hopefully we'll get some better prospects here pretty quickly.
Yeah. So when you say training and development, any particular field you want, or are you just kind of open to, like when you say training and development, I think like it would be something you would have to already know, but maybe not.
I mean, some of
sense?
it yes, some of yes, some of it no. I mean, it depends if you're on the delivery side or not. And so that's kind of the great thing about that type of work is, so for example, last spring I coordinated statewide or a training for the Oklahoma Bondsmen's Association. I don't know anything about bond or bail or bond agents, but I was tasked with putting together this training. So
I do, unfortunately.
So when you're on like the coordination side, the back end, like you don't have to know about those things. So I learned enough to be able to talk intelligently about what I needed from people, and had a little bit of direction from what they needed. But honestly, I utilized LinkedIn and I reached out to people in like the law enforcement field and got some of my speakers that way. Sorry about that. And
do you need to answer that?
Actually, yeah, I probably should. Can we time out for a second?
Yeah. Okay, she muted. All right. I don't know if she can hear me or not, but just wave at me whenever you get ready. So I'm going to take her off for a minute, and I'm going to get stuck freestyling again. Last time I did this, Anthony Jones said I needed to put talking to myself as a skill on my profile, and that if I did, he would endorse me. So that is now a skill on my profile, talking to myself. So if any of y'all want to go endorse me for talking to myself, that would be awesome. Because I am not good at these monologues like this. I think she's done. Oh,
yes,
thank
God.
Okay, because I was running out of stuff to say.
No,
I said this happened on the last live too. I had to go solo for like a couple of minutes, and I was just saying when that happened, Anthony Jones was in the comments and he said, "Hey man, go put talking to yourself on your profile as one of your skills, and I'll endorse you for it." So I went and put talking to myself as one of my skills on my profile, and he went and endorsed me for it. Fake news, I know, man, all day long.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, people who do podcasts, it's basically what they do, isn't it? Like, because if there's not someone to talk to, they're just talking about something.
Stephen. It is a skill. I'm endorsed for it now by one person.
Make it so.
Yeah, so like 𝙏𝙝𝙑𝙀, the guy that was right at the beginning, he streams too, and he does them just randomly. He doesn't always schedule them. And he doesn't usually have a guest. It's just him. And that sucker can go for like an hour just talking. And I'm like, I'm lost, bro. Like I run out of stuff to say after the introduction. Like, please have a guest on here with me or I'm gonna be stuck.
Yeah, I think I would struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Especially if the comments aren't popping.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have some interaction to help it flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stephen, all right, so we were talking about training and development.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't the one delivering that bondsman's training, so I didn't have to know, the ins and the outs of everything. I just had to find the resources, get them scheduled, handle the catering, make sure we had like the venue and everything figured out, and then be there the day of and make sure everything ran right. And it was a good success.
Yeah.
But I've also been on the other side where I'm the one that actually is, developing the training, the concepts, and then putting together the actual, teaching session myself. So I've done both sides and I enjoy both sides.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool. Is there any industry you would like to be in? Like, do you want to be in like some sort of ag industry, or are you kind of thinking of branching out and like ideally, what if you could have the ideal job to do that? what would you want to train? Or what would
I
you want
haven't
to
figured that
develop?
out yet.
Okay.
I honestly, I haven't figured that out yet, because I do, obviously my heart's in agriculture, so that would be
Right.
amazing, but
Right.
also understand, like, might not be feasible. I've got my cows, I've got my land, I've got my tie to agriculture. It's okay.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, medical would probably be lower on my list.
Yeah.
Same with like financial services.
Yeah.
That
would be boring as hell to me.
It could be. It could be. But then again, if you're doing like the personal professional development type things, like knowing and leveraging your strengths or whatever your like disc style is, and understanding your personality and how that affects your work life and how to work with others, and recognizing others have different strengths and characteristics, like that transcends all industries. And to me, when you're talking about like what makes people tick, that's when I get excited, because you can learn a lot about yourself and other people and be able to understand, oh, that's why they do that, or that's why I do that. And know that it's really just how you're wired. And so when you can work with your strengths and with other people's strengths and leverage those, you can get a lot more done, and it's more efficiently, and it's not like pulling teeth to get things done if you're, going against somebody's what they're able to do naturally.
Well, Steve, why don't you check on that for us?
Yeah, go check that out, Stephen.
When you go to work tomorrow, Captain America.
Kidding, I'm gonna write that down though.
And Stephen is in Memphis, right, Stephen? I think he's in Memphis. He is in Memphis. It might be something remote. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't even know what Stephen does. Like, he's in our mastermind group, the Dragons group or whatever, and like we talk all the time, and I have no freaking idea what he does.
He's a jack of all trades.
A jack of all trades, yeah, I know. And he has goats, and Amy wants one. Oh, he is at work. We won't tell your boss you're watching.
No.
You're watching the internet right now.
We won't say anything.
Yeah, so all I know is he has goats and Amy wants one, and Andy won't let her. Like, that's really all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
My sister-in-law has goats. Like, they can be a pain in the butt sometimes.
Yeah, so I ordered. It was Adam sent the link to it in that group, but I ordered it for Amy, and it arrived today. It's a T-shirt that says, "Buy me a baby goat, and then we'll talk."
That's funny.
Yeah, right. I did order that, by the way, Adam, and it arrived today. I don't know if she'll get it to, because she's in South Carolina. I don't know if she's coming back today or tomorrow.
Looks like they are living their best life.
Boy, I'm like salty AF that I'm not
there.
At least there's a fly on the wall, man.
No kidding.
Because like the three girls that are there, three of my favorite people in the world, and so are Andy and Justin. And I was just like, dang, man, I want to go to South Carolina. Oh, okay. Who do you babysit? The people that work for you?
Maybe he means babysits the machines.
Oh, yeah, maybe so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're like a mechanic, a high-tech mechanic.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, anyway, like that, yeah, I would love to have been partying with them.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been sober since they all got there Sunday.
Judgment-free zone.
Yeah, I'm not mad. Yeah, I'm not mad at them at all.
No.
Oh, he babysits some machines.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, all right. Sounds like a pretty laid-back job, man.
Yeah. It's amazing. So, like, I haven't been on the job market since, almost 14 years. Well, basically 14 years, because I got hired where I was working before I even graduated college. So it was about October of my senior year. I graduated in December. And so, like, looking for a job today versus looking for a job back then is a completely different world. Like, it has been the steepest learning curve, I swear.
Yeah, I bet.
Just because things are so different, and there's like jobs that exist now that didn't exist then, and like there's acronyms out the wazoo, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like,
Right.
I guess I won't apply for that because I don't know what it is.
Right. I've never, and I've said this, like being on LinkedIn has really opened my eyes because I didn't know the hiring process for companies was as crazy as it is.
Mm-hmm.
I live in bum freaking Egypt, Texas.
Yeah.
Population, the town I grew up in was population 5,085. The
Mm-hmm.
town I live in now is 14,000. So it's really, really small. So before I went to prison, I was like 28, 27, and lived there my whole life, got out of prison and got the job here because a friend of mine is part owner of the company. So I've never had to go through any of that kind of hiring process.
Mm-hmm.
And I read all this stuff on LinkedIn and I'm like, holy crap, I hope I never have to go through this stuff.
Yeah, I hope you don't either. Like,
yeah, because it's nuts.
It is. And I think, I mean, so I saw a job last night when I was looking. It had been posted 6 hours earlier and had 200 applicants.
Like, yeah, like that makes you just, I'd say F it. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk to that.
Not even going to do that. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy.
And then the process to go through it, like the multiple interviews and like that just blows me away because one, I've never worked for, excuse me, a big corporation. Because it's always been you go in, you interview with the owner or the manager, and you either get the job or you don't.
Yeah.
So to go through a whole process of multiple interviews with multiple different people, I'm like, why don't you just like video this or something? Like you're record it, do an audio recording. So
yeah.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, save
wasting
people
everybody's
from
time.
Yeah.
But they've got people that is their job to sit there and interview people all day.
Mm-hmm. At this point, I wouldn't even care. I just want an interview.
Right. Oh, you had one a few weeks ago. A couple weeks ago.
I did. I had a really good one.
And you made it to the second round, right?
I did. I made it to the final round, and I was a very close second place.
Yeah.
So. First loser.
Right.
But I mean, it was okay. I mean, it would have been amazing to have locked down a job within 30 days of, leaving a job.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't meant to be. So there's something else out there that's a better fit. But I mean, it was a good experience to, get back in the swing of things, and really helped, tailor my direction. That was a talent and organizational development position. And so that helped me figure out which direction I wanted to go. So it's all good. And like, I connected with the people within the department, and so like it's not like there's any bad blood there. So
right.
If something else comes around later, then maybe it'll work out. Maybe not. Then I got some new friends. So it's all good.
Right.
It's all good.
So do you have any crazy farm stories?
Oh, probably, if I think about it long enough.
Yeah.
I've been slapped across the face with a poopy cow tail.
I have too.
So, I mean, once that happens, it's really nothing grosses you out.
Yeah.
Last spring, so like a year ago, or a year and a half ago now, we were working cows, and spring grass, cows are juicy.
Yes.
And I had a cup like this on like behind the chute on like the working table where we keep all of our equipment and stuff. And she turned around and like sprayed the whole area and like got my entire cup except for the straw. And so my mother-in-law actually has a picture of me drinking out of my cup, and it's just like splattered.
Except for the straw.
Except for the straw. The straw was clean. Yes, I did, Stephen. I did. I got it. And actually, I'm super horrible about like sending thank you notes, but yes, I did. I redeemed it. I got myself a really cool mermaid cup because I thought every time I drink out of my cup, I can think of my friend Stephen. And I literally had that cup for like 3 days, and my daughter knocked it off the table and broke the lid off, and it like wasn't fixable.
Oh man.
So
And you know those
yeah,
Starbucks cups are all limited edition. Like they come out for a little while and then that's it.
yeah. So if I see another one, I'm gonna buy it, and I'll still remember Steven with my special cup, even though
Right.
it was like 2.0.
Right. Well, you can take the lid
Yeah,
off of it and put it on the original cup so it's still
yeah,
Steven's cup. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
farm
No,
stories. Yeah, like I've never had a farm, never ranch, never anything, but I worked for a country vet where we did farm calls. So I've worked cows just tons. And
mm-hmm,
there's always something. You're either getting crapped on or
mm-hmm,
stepped on or
yeah.
I'll never forget. Do y'all AI your cows or do you have a
No,
bull?
we just do natural service with a bull.
So before I went to work for the vet, I was volunteering on Saturdays during the summer. They said, why don't you just come in? Because everybody thinks you're playing with animals all the time, but you're really like cleaning up poop all day, every day, with a little bit of playing with the animals. So
Yeah.
come in and volunteer, see if you like it. So I'm 15, and we had a bull come in for a fertility test.
Mm-hmm.
Had no clue what that was. And he comes in, he says, so Chris, are you ready? I said, for what? He said, we got to go do a fertility test on a bull. They're bringing it in. I said, okay. He said, is your arm limber? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, we have to collect somehow. And I was like, no, bro, you ain't even paying me. Have you ever seen a fertility test on a bull? You know how they do
Yeah.
it with the
Yeah.
probe? Well, then, like,
Yeah.
he led me on for a while,
Yeah.
making me think I was going to have to manually collect from this bull. Like the unpaid teenage intern was going to have to go out there and manually collect from this bull. And he led me on for like 30 minutes. And then he finally showed me the probe and how it worked and the science behind it and all that stuff. And I was like, oh,
Yeah. Oh
okay.
my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, like I was really worried because I was like, man, I really want to go to work here. I don't want him to think like I'm a wuss, but I
Yeah.
really don't want to do this to this bull. You know what I
No
mean?
kidding. Oh, that's
uh,
funny.
yeah, he tried to get me to do that too whenever we castrate the little bull calves or whatever, but I wasn't trying to do it. I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I've
feel right.
I've tried them before, and just can't get behind that.
I can't either because like it's just I know what's there. I know
Mm-hmm.
what they do. You know what I mean? I'm like I cannot do that. I can't do it. Oh,
Yeah, I have a friend of mine. Um, she will eat them if she's not the one that has to prepare them, because she's like, once I've prepared them and done all the work, and then it's like I'm not eating that.
yeah.
But if somebody else does it, then she will. But
Nope. I'm not going to do it. I'll try a lot of things, but I don't think I would do that.
yeah, that's
Uh,
not high on my list.
mm-mm. No. So do y'all
Yeah,
ever have any problems with like having to pull calves or anything?
thankfully, very rarely.
Good.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So we make sure and get low birth weight bulls because we're
Mm-hmm.
very, hands off operation. Like they're just running out here on 400 acres, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
good luck, girls. Bring me a baby calf.
Yep.
And 99% of the time, that's how it goes, and
Yeah.
it's fine. I guess I was pregnant with my son, so it was a little over 9 years ago. We had a heifer that was having problems, and we went out there. She was laying down by a tree, thankfully. So we got a rope around her neck, tied her to the tree, and then I pulled that calf. So I am with my big old pregnant belly and got chains on this calf, and it just needed a little bit of help. Like its
Yeah.
shoulders were locked in. But
Yeah.
so no, thankfully not a lot of that. But that's the one that we have had to pull in, my experience being out here for the last 13 years.
Yeah. That's pretty good odds.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah.
I always liked working cows. Like that was always my favorite. Cows and horses when I worked for that was always my favorite thing to mess with. The dogs
Yeah.
are fun. The cats, like it. Cats are okay. They're cats, but
Yeah.
cows and horses were fun.
Yeah. I like my cows. Like they're a pain in the butt sometimes, but
Hmm.
I do enjoy them. It's like you can take the cowgirl out of the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the cowgirl.
Yeah.
So
So do y'all have horses too?
we have, well, one that's ours. And then my sister-in-law's horse lives down here with us with my horse. But they're just pleasure pasture ornaments.
So you won't
We
work the cows with
we
them?
don't work cows on horseback. No.
I
So
never
there
have
was,
either. Like I am not a cowboy. I tell people all the time, there's a big difference. I am from Texas, but I am a country boy. I'm not a cowboy. I don't wear a cowboy hat. I can ride a horse, but I can't like work a horse or
mm-hmm,
work off a horse. You know what I mean? Um, and I forgot where that train of thought was going, just like that.
yeah,
Oh, I know it, man. Um, but it's cool to watch the
mm-hmm,
cowboys on the horses and just how
yeah,
those cutting horses, the way they work and stuff.
yeah,
Like it is amazing. I rode a cutting horse, one that had been professionally trained, and you had like in my inexperienced ass had to be careful because he was real
mm-hmm,
sensitive to pressure and
yeah,
reins and stuff. Like he'd spin around on you with just a little bit of like
yeah,
it's just amazing the way those big animals can do that.
yeah. They're awesome.
They are. They exactly are, man. When I worked, the vet I worked for used to always say a horse is a vet bill waiting to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and I've had.
Hey,
Hi,
Michelle.
Michelle.
How are you? That's my
I love
friend.
her.
I do too. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Her word of the week posts are awesome.
Yes, they are. I missed the one for this week. That wasn't on
Edit.
hardly at all yesterday.
Yep, edit is the word. Like editing
Edit.
things out of your life. Yep, edit.
That's
It
good.
is. Yep.
That is a good one. Do you
Hmm.
pick a word for the week?
I don't. I do good to get up in the morning. Oh, this morning it was terrible. Like I don't even remember my alarms going off
Yeah.
at all.
I
Like
don't
I
know.
have three alarms set on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm not a morning person, so I have to like I don't have to be. I leave for work at 7 just because I like to get here and play on LinkedIn and make my
Mm-hmm.
post for the day if I post or whatever. Um, but I like to be able to sit and drink my coffee and wake up a little bit, let the
Mm-hmm.
dogs out. I don't do good being rushed. So I woke up
Yeah.
and it was daylight in my house, and I was like, "Oh crap!" I went to my phone and it was like 8:03, and I was like, "Oh!" So I was at work by 8:25,
Oh,
but it was
wow.
just like yeah. But it was like I still when I got here, I just sat here and drank my coffee. Didn't do anything for like 30 minutes because I had to wake up. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Ugh, I
I
hate being
understand
rushed
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Did you
No.
pick a word for the week?
Sometimes. So a
Okay.
couple weeks ago, I did the pause.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was weird. It had like the thought had come to me driving home from dropping the kids off, and then I saw her post, and I was like, pause. That's I can embrace that. That we'll work
Mm-hmm.
through that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I don't think I picked one last week. I haven't picked one this week. I may
Yeah.
just ride that pause for a while because it's
Yeah.
still relevant. It's still
Yeah.
relevant. So we may just go
Exactly.
with that for a while.
My mind just doesn't work like that. Like I can say I'm going to pick a word of the week, and by Monday afternoon I've forgotten that I said I was going to do it. Like I just don't.
Yeah.
Like it just blows me away whenever I look at people's posts and see how intentional they are, with thinking things
Hmm.
out,
Yeah.
and like that's just not the way my mind works at all.
You have to be very intentional, and picking a word
Hmm.
every week is a lot. I mean, that's a lot for
Yeah,
me too.
and
Like
then to put it
I'm
into play too. Like
yeah. Yeah. What do you pick a word for the year?
no.
So I've one of my coworkers brought it to our team several years ago, and so ever since I think 2017 was the first year that I picked a word, and so I've kept with that, and it's been interesting to see how it shapes um, your decisions and sticking with things. So my word this year is boundaries, which has been hard.
Yeah.
Because I struggle with boundaries, which is probably why and it's not like I pick my word. It's kind of a word that like picks you. Like because you do some reflection and some thinking, and then it's just like, hey,
oh yeah, right.
Here's your word.
Right.
So boundaries has been hard this year. My word the year before was discipline. I didn't want it. Like it came to me like in October, and I was like, no. Mm-mm. And all the way through till the new year, it was just like discipline. I'm like, no, I don't want it. But that was my word.
That's a toughie, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad word.
Yeah, it was hard. I really enjoyed my very first word that I picked was serve.
Yeah.
So, and that fit me very well, and it was good. But it serves as a reminder to what you need to think about or work on. And I mean, a lot of times it's not the easy or the fun, but it's the important. So trying to lean into those things and be better than you were the year before or the day before, whatever time frame you're looking at is worth it.
So what have you been doing with yourself since you have been not working?
Chasing children. It's actually my husband calling. Do you mind if we pause again? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. And here we are again, me talking to myself. Knowing that is not something I'm great at. So Tuesday at 12 Central, let me double check if that's right. I think it's Tuesday. Tuesday, the 19th at 12 Central, I will have James Lorraine on. I'm pretty excited about that. I know y'all know James, and just the stuff he writes is amazing. And he just puts all kinds of humor and personality into it. And, his tagline on his profile is, I can explain high tech to my grandma. He breaks stuff down really cool. He used to do, a series on 1,300 characters or less. He'd explain something in 1,300 characters or less. So he's extremely good at it. He's an engineer turned copywriter, and he uses his engineering experience and his knowledge of how things work to break down technical copywriting, basically just writing about tech stuff. So, and Julie's back. She's looking at me.
Yes, I'm back.
She is.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just telling him I'm going to have James Lorraine on Tuesday at 12 Central. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That'll be awesome.
Right? It will be. He was like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, dude, like, you're the writer. Like, you're the one with words. So,
yeah. That'll be awesome. So that's next Tuesday?
Yeah, a week from today.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then I have Rob Gilbert Wednesday at 5.
Awesome.
And then we're bringing Ending the Stigma back Wednesday at 7.
Good deal.
So I've got 3 lives next week. Yep, 𝙒𝙑𝙑𝙀 will be my guest, or our guest. Nathan will be with me. He'll be our guest, or she'll be our guest Wednesday night. Yeah, it is a live.
That's awesome, though.
But as you know, I'm recently single, so I have absolutely nothing better to do but play on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I enjoy doing these, man. Like, we've been on Zoom parties before, but we've never just had like a one-on-one conversation, really.
I know.
So it's fun. Like, I kind of use these almost as a networking call or whatever you want to call it, and just get to know some of my connections and.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
No, it's good to visit with people outside of the regular, interaction on comments or even on like DMs, just because it's hard to read, sarcasm or inflection or anything like that in text, but you really get to know somebody on a different level when you're, face to face as much as possible when you're not close geographically.
Yeah, and I've gotten there's a lot of my connections now, like we'll have their phone number and we text or call or whatever. It's turned into friendships rather than just connections. So it's been great.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Well, cool. Is there anything else you want to say or talk about?
I don't know. I mean, just somebody hire me.
Somebody please hire her.
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
Hire me.
hire
Give me,
Julie.
give me a job. So
Yeah, I love
no,
like your post where one day you'll be. Yeah, I know, Stephen. I'm too sarcastic. So please, never,
no.
never. Your post where you're like, one day you'll be in boots and jeans,
Yeah,
and the next day you're like dressed to the hill, hair curled, like looking like $1 million. I'm like this is cool.
yeah. It happens a lot. Or
Yeah,
even I've had times where I was, you know, super dressed up for, going to the Capitol or whatever, and then come home and like just swap out my heels for my cowboy boots and go feed in my dress or whatever.
yeah,
There was okay, talking about funny or crazy farm story.
yeah.
So this was a couple years ago. It was winter-ish, so cold but no snow on the ground.
Hmm.
And Jimmy, my husband, was out feeding, and I just got home with the kids, and so like I drove my Suburban like out in the pasture, and there was one of our really nice heifers was chewing on some net wrap. I'm like, you
You talking about that
stupid
goes
thing.
around the hay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that goes around the hay. So, and
yeah.
it's made of plastic, and if they ingest that, like, makes them sick, it can kill them, like, that
Hmm.
deal. And of course, cows are dumb, so they chew on things that can kill them.
Hmm.
And so we've got this calf hook. Like, if you Google hook doctor,
Hmm.
like, you'll find a picture of it. But it was the best $40 we've ever spent on like a piece of cow equipment, because you can walk up behind the animal and like hook their leg and you got them caught, because the way it's designed, like it's really hard for them to kick out of it unless they're like, teensy tiny 30-pound calves. So this heifer, she was probably 200 pounds. She was a big girl. And I hooked her with that calf hook, and I, straight from work, I'm in, yeah, it's exactly it. So you hold on to the big end, and then
Uh-huh.
that little the little end goes around either
Yeah,
their
right
yeah, it
here.
goes around like right above their back foot or over their hock. It works better, especially if
Uh-huh.
they're little.
Uh-huh.
Like it's almost impossible for them to kick out of it.
Okay.
So I hook this heifer, and I'm wearing ballet flats, so not good shoes. And she takes off across the pasture with me behind her. And so
You're
I'm like
sliding, right?
leaning back on that thing as hard as I can. And there's rocks. And I'm like, oh, because my feet are like going through the rocks. And then like she was going through like some like corner posts. And so I'm like trying to like lean so I can like grab the post and like stop her. And then that
Yeah.
didn't work. And so I'm like trying to go the other way. Finally got her stopped, and then my husband just comes over and just like lays on her. But we got the net wrap out of her mouth, and nobody was seriously hurt, so it was a victory.
Yeah.
So,
That's hilarious. It
but
always freaks
yeah,
me out like when women they're so small and petite, and not that they're not strong, but then they get out there and work these cows, and a lot of times they do great. But every once in a while, one will get the best of them, and then it'll
yeah,
happen like you, and it's like all weighing next to nothing, just being dragged across the pasture
yeah,
by this cow.
yeah. It's happened more than once. You think, oh,
Yeah,
that calf's not bad. I can handle that. And once you get it hooked, it's like, well, I'm gonna need some reinforcement.
yeah. We used to, we'd get a call, a cow would be down, or we'd have to go pull a calf, or go do
Hmm.
something to a cow that was out in the middle of a pasture, and we'd get a rope on it. And you think you can maybe hold a cow, but there's no way in hell. Like you have to get
Hmm.
something and get that rope around it.
Yep.
And so I'd be out there, and I'm the helper, so I'm the one that has to hold the rope. And I'd be
Yeah.
trying to hold her, and Anthony, he was the vet, he'd be hollering, "Hold her, Chris, hold her!" And I'm like, "She weighs 1,000 pounds, man. Like, how am I supposed to hold her? I weigh 180, bro."
Yeah. Yeah. For
So
sure.
much
I
fun
remember
though.
I remember one of my like I was little, like, and we were checking cows, and my dad had to help a cow. And so got a rope on her, and we had like a board. or a block stuck in the bed of the pickup. You know, they've got the like the cargo notches or whatever. And so Dad had the rope dallied around that block and then handed me the tail of it while I'm sitting in the cab. And I'm like, maybe 5. But he's like, as long as you don't let go of that tail, it'll stay wrapped around the block and you'll be fine. And I'm like, he's like, just keep tension on it. I'm like, okay. And it turned out fine. But I'm like, really? Like, I'm 5. What am I going to do?
Well, I mean, the rope takes the tension, the wraps take the tension off. Like, I had to learn that whenever I went to work for him. I'm like, she's still going to be able to pull it. But if you put the wraps around it, it doesn't require as much pressure to hold her there.
Yeah. So a lot of it is like technique, not necessarily muscle or power, but knowing the right way to do things is a lot of key, especially like to flanking calves, because you got to pop them and kick their feet out from underneath them so that they actually like go down. Otherwise, they still keep a foot on the ground and you're having a wrestling match.
Yeah, exactly. Or whenever we would dehorn cows, or even bulls, like or a full-grown cow, if we had to put the nose tongs on them and pull them around, the way you wrap it on the pole of the squeeze chute, one of the drop downs or whatever. Like I learned that instead of just wrapping it around, if I wrapped it around, but then as soon as I wrapped it around, if I crossed it, so that the top one was holding the main one, you know what I mean? Like that made and then did another wrap, like that made all the difference in the world versus just putting 2 wraps on it.
Yeah.
So once you get them pulled around.
Bye, Michelle. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming by. Yeah, it's all about the technique. You're right. You can have a little bitty person doing crazy things with a big old cow.
Yeah. So, but it's good. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I miss it. Like I really do miss it. Being able to and working for him, there was so much variety. It'd be cows one day or horses, and you never saw the same thing. You saw a lot of the same thing, but you never knew what the day was going to hold.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's exactly true when you own your own cows too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been a time where I didn't have my calf hook, or it may have been, I don't know what the occasion was, because this was like last spring too. But I got kicked in the chest, like right here, by a calf. I think I went to grab it just with my hand, and I didn't have the hook, and he kicked me in the chest. Like I had a perfect little hoof print right here. And I was like, at least you didn't get my face. Like,
yeah, right.
At least you didn't get my face.
So how big a calf can you grab with that thing?
Oh, you can grab you can probably grab a 500-pounder. It's just if you can hang on to it.
No, right. But I mean, I didn't know like the gap in that thing, how much.
Yeah, I mean, probably 500-pounder might be pushing it, but you can get a 300-pounder, no problem.
Okay.
And we've done that before. Like if there's one like that's sick in the pasture, because none of us can rope. Like we've tried before, but I roped my brother-in-law instead of the calf.
Yeah.
But we've had them where if you can get a hand on, if you can get them hooked, and then at least slow them down, then someone else can run up and like
rope them,
bulldog them.
Yeah.
But we've done some pretty big calves before.
And with that thing being stiff, and it doesn't look like it's very long, is it?
No, it's maybe 2.5 feet long.
Yeah, like you got to get in there on top of them. Like that's close. Yeah. Like they've got a lot of room just to yank you around.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten really good at like sneaking and using the cows as like a shield and like come around the edge and like hook them.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna have to video that sometime.
I was just thinking I need to do a video of that.
You do, yeah. You need to have your kids be like, all right, video this.
Yeah. I do have a picture one time. So a couple years ago, there was a calf I kept trying to catch and it kept getting away. And then I ended up getting it hooked like the next day. And I literally like took my phone out of my pocket and took a picture of like, you can see my hand and the calf. And it's like all blurry as heck because we're moving around. But I was like, I caught the calf.
That's hilarious.
But yeah. So I've occasionally, Cahill, my son, he's getting older now. Like he can do a pretty decent job of like documenting a situation. previously I'd be like, all right, here's the camera, take pictures of me with this calf. And I'll get like the trees or like just 47 pictures of the headlights. Like there's no telling.
Right.
So.
Well, Julie, we're reaching an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should probably go do some like mom things. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna go home and put something in my belly.
Get in my belly.
Get in my belly. Is that a fat joke?
I don't know what that's from. Isn't that?
No, that's from Austin Powers.
That's okay. That's what I thought.
Fat bastard.
Yeah. It's not very becoming.
No, he's trying to eat eat mini me. He thinks mini me is something to eat. I think, if I remember right. Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that
is exactly what that is.
Yeah.
That is exactly right.
Yeah, and then they say, I am, and then they shine it in your eyes.
Yeah, I am. That's a yes.
Yeah, and that's where the headlamp comes in handy.
Dude, I don't know how I survived in life without a headlamp.
Right?
Like, I've never had one, and I got a couple years ago. I got 2 of them. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea how in the hell I ever survived, how I ever made it hunting, fishing, working, doing anything in the dark without a headlight.
Yeah, well, you had a flashlight in your mouth the whole time.
Yeah, and then like back in the day when I was a teenager, the thing to have, of course, that was before flashlights got, so technologically advanced or whatever. The thing to have was like a 3 or 4 cell mag light.
Mag light? It's like a baseball bat?
Like a baseball bat, and so you're sitting there trying to work on something like this because you can't put the damn thing in your mouth.
Yep.
Unless you had a mini mag light.
Yep.
And you get spit running down it and you're drooling all over it.
Exactly. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
We still have one of those big silver mag lights. Like, I don't know where it is right now, but I'm like, this is like a 2-in-1. It's my light and my self-defense.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually hit a dude with one of those one time back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. He stopped what he was doing.
That's good.
Yeah, I know.
I would jack somebody up.
And the thing, like, my mother-in-law, or ex-mother-in-law, got me a mag light a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But like, it wasn't LED, and I already had some LED flashlights. And so you use it, and it's bright, but it's not like what you have now and something that's only this big,
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, like, we thought we were the crap back then if you had a 4-cell mag light. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that sucker down there stuck between your seats, always ready to go.
Yep.
Good times, man.
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. Next on my wish list is a spotlight, like a handheld cordless spotlight. Like my dad had one when we were growing up for checking cows in the dark, and it plugged into your cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember what million candle power it had then that was like top of the line. That I'm sure
you were not anything unless you had at least 1 million candle power.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, which I'm sure is probably like a matchstick compared to what they are nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I want a spotlight so we can go out and check cows and kill hogs and things like that.
Yeah, we killed one Friday night.
Yeah.
My buddy I was telling you about beforehand that has the cellular cameras.
Mm-hmm.
He was in town eating with his wife. He texted me. He said, "Hey man, there's hogs down on the bottom." I was like, "Well, crap. I'm not going to try and go down there because it's all the way back in the back, and we don't have a light on that feeder." So I was like, "Man, I'm not going to try it. I could do it because I can shoot and hold the light. I can shoot my crossbow and hold the light." I was like, I don't want to try and do that. It's a long ways down there. There's no light. I'm not going to do it. He texted me a few minutes later. He said, "Man, I'm on the way home. They're up at the top stand. And at the top stand, we have a solar-powered light that's got red LED lights on it. So all night long, that stays lit up."
Okay.
So I got dressed, ran over to his house. He was just getting home. We walked down there. Or we drove a little ways in the mule, then we walked down there. And snuck up around there, and those hogs were still down there eating, chasing each other, doing all kinds of stuff. So he smoked one.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool to be able to do that. Take a picture and just sneak down there and go shoot them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any on our place in quite a while, but I just know with the weather changing, they'll be back. I think they've just been hanging out probably down on the river since it was so hot. But
Yeah, we
and
just started getting them back. Like we haven't had any all summer
Mhm.
long, and that's not
Yep.
normal. Like I've got pictures last year where I'm just covered up in them.
Mhm.
Steven, are you still watching? What the hell did you just see? I don't know what that
Looks
is.
like a robot.
Yeah,
Is that
it's kind of
part of like a conveyor belt, maybe?
yeah. That's what he was doing while listening. He must not be rebuilding a transfer assembly for a conveyor and automated picking station, so he must not be watching that.
Oh,
Oh, okay, cool.
cool.
Well, he made it to the live.
That was really weird because I was like, I see us on the side, and then it was like the show, but it was like the delay, but on the
Oh
same.
yeah, because I had it in the background on the other screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of wigging me out for a minute. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, I better get off of here. We're going to keep talking.
Okay. Sounds like a
Cool.
plan. Well,
Yeah. Thank you
thanks
so
for
much for
having me.
coming. I enjoyed hanging out with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a
We'll have
good
to set
time.
up a
It was a good
time
time.
and Zoom a little more often.
Absolutely. That'd be fun. Be
All right.
good.
Cool. All right. Go do some mom stuff.
I'll go do some mom stuff. You go
Somebody
get some food in
hired.
your belly.
Yeah. Somebody hired Julie.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. See you later, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.